I'm not depending on punch power, you know. You know what, it takes a lot more than that to be a great fighter. A lot more than that to be a great fighter, so there's various ways I'll win. But I got the fighter spirit, and that's how I'll go in there and break him down with my spirit.
But he can't though. That's what I'm saying. Like, he's not even equipped to fight this dude. He's not. It's going to have to be a bunch of stuff in there. Joshua will punish this man.
Impossible for somebody like Anthony Joshua, who is so big and so strong, to even think he's going to take it easy. Because even if he tries to take it easy, he's so powerful, so strong that even those punches that are being easy are still going to hurt.
Anthony Joshua warned Jake Paul during the press conference, calling him delusional for believing he can win. He reportedly admitted that he's taking the fight mostly for the money, describing it as a business move. Still, Joshua made it clear that once they're in the ring, he sees himself as the far superior fighter.
Yeah, I deliver what I was supposed to deliver years ago. I deliver what they ran from. I deliver what he asked for $50 million for. I'm going to give him a $50 million knockout.
I honestly listen to what people say sometimes. They're avoided, this person's running. I honestly think some people are deluded. Really, I do think that they've got some sort of a long-term concussion, because no one's running. In terms of 50 million, I'm a businessman. If there was 50 million on the table.
Chris Algieri explains that this fight gives Anthony Joshua an ideal chance to get back in the ring. After a stretch of inactivity following his last defeat, Joshua can use this matchup to rebuild his confidence and regain his competitive rhythm. Algieri notes that it's a low-risk opportunity that still brings a strong payday, almost like a controlled sparring session. Overall, he suggests that Joshua stands to benefit financially, mentally, and physically, making this fight a smart and strategic move for his comeback.
What are we talking here? Like, it's going to be an exhibition? No, it's a fight. You're a heavyweight. You're calling out heavyweights. You're calling out a heavyweight. You're calling out Anthony Joshua, former world champion. You're calling him out on short notice. It's a fight. You're going to wear 10-ounce gloves and you're going to fight 10 rounds, and that's what it is. I don't understand any idea of anything else. Oh, it's going to be 8-2s? Is it going to be 15-ounce gloves? What the hell are we doing? This is boxing. You want to fight a real guy? You're fighting a real guy, which I am very respectful, and I respect the hell out of Jake Paul if he does step in the ring with Anthony Joshua, no matter what happens. Kid's got balls of steel, and I applaud you.
Well, the reason I say we don't know yet, because Jake Paul has fought in his last fight with Gervonta Davis was going to be an exhibition. They had to do that because of the weight difference. This is still a weight difference here. I mean,
no, there's not. No, it's not. It's heavyweight. It's the same weight class.
Well, what do you consider Jake Paul? Cruiserweight or heavyweight?
Heavyweight. How much did he weigh his last fight?
He's fought at cruiserweight. He's also fought at heavyweight. Against Tyson was at heavyweight.
What was his last fight? He's a cruiser. He's a heavyweight.
What was
he
his
was
last
too.
fight?
It was
his last
Mike
fight was
Tyson.
at cruiser against Chavez. Whatever, you know what I mean. Like the reason Gervonta Davis fight.
He fought Chavez after Tyson. I guess Tyson was that long ago. Wow.
That was a year ago. This week, I was looking at my Instagram memories. I was in Dallas, Texas, getting ready for me pooping my pants on Netflix. That was about a year ago. Yeah, exhibition, these are questions that are asked. These are questions that are attached.
Eddie Hearn says Anthony Joshua is definitely interested in fighting Jake Paul, but the team has to be cautious because of Paul's unpredictable behavior. He points out that Jake has a track record of confirming opponents only to cancel or delay fights at the last minute, which makes planning difficult. Because of this, Joshua's camp is staying flexible and ready for any sudden changes while continuing to train and prepare. Hearn adds that if Paul is truly committed to the fight, it could be a huge financial opportunity for Joshua, possibly one of the biggest paydays of his career. Still, he stresses the need to balance excitement with caution, making sure Joshua can take advantage of the opportunity without unnecessary disruptions. Overall, Hearn highlights the importance of patience and preparation, as managing Jake Paul's unpredictability is key to protecting Joshua's career and maximizing the potential rewards.
Paul news seemed to come to a surprise for many. How close are we to making that fight, Eddie?
Not that close. I mean, there are conversations. There's a lot of hurdles to overcome. But if he's serious about the fight, and if it can get made, there's a very good chance we'll do it.
Is it on Netflix, and what did DAZN have to say of the fact that it made
one of the hurdles to overcome? But we were going to have an 8-round run out in December. Just so happens it might be against Jake Paul.
Have you spoke to Nikisa? I know you're not friends with him. What are the conversations you've had?
That's who we're talking about, you know. And if they're serious, and if it's real, there's a good chance. But listen, we could wake up tomorrow and he's announced another opponent and he just used AJ's name for clout. Listen, I have to respect him if he takes the fight. But who knows?
What do you think Dana White will make of this fight?
mean, he did Mayweather against McGregor. He doesn't like Jake Paul. I really couldn't care less what he thinks about the fight. AJ's going to make close to or around a career high payday.
Paulie Malignaggi emphasizes that Anthony Joshua will take the fight seriously, even if it's officially billed as an exhibition. He notes that Joshua has never underestimated an opponent throughout his career, and once he steps into the ring, he brings full focus, power, and technical skill. Malignaggi points to Joshua's discipline, timing, and ring IQ, which allow him to spot openings and punish mistakes with ease. Ryan Garcia agrees, adding that even if Joshua tones down his intensity, his natural strength and accuracy still make his punches extremely dangerous. Together, their insights make it clear that Jake Paul is facing a real physical threat, and the fight shouldn't be dismissed as mere entertainment. They stress that Joshua's experience against top heavyweight competition gives him the ability to control the pace, distance, and momentum of the match. Analysts agree that Paul will need both strategy and resilience, as Joshua's skill and power create a high-risk situation where any mistake can have serious consequences. Overall, they conclude that the fight demands genuine respect and serious preparation from both sides.
If you listen to this, it's definitely out of the bag.
Yeah, Fight for 84, big boxing movie that's hitting Netflix soon about the Olympic 84 team starring Jamie Foxx and Chris Algieri.
I am not starring in anything, but whatever. Yeah, no, I got credit. I'm in it. I got some lines. So
that's amazing. That is so cool. I mean, this couldn't get any cooler. You're now in the movie, which is absolutely absurd.
Yeah,
what a day.
Hopefully,
what a life.
Hopefully, maybe there'll be more of this. Who knows? Who knows?
I think it's just the beginning. I think this podcast is numbered. Our days are numbered.
No way. I'm never letting this go, Dan. This is. I'm a ride or die.
I hope you get so big and become such a big actor that you are like delaying production because you have to film our podcast in your trailer.
Chris is in his trailer. Wait, he's got to finish his podcast with Dan.
They're like, who's Dan? Johnny Drama style.
Yeah, love it. Yeah, just
when
total diva. Just total diva in every way possible.
Yes, like we said, this episode is brought to you by PPP.com. December 6th, we're going to see Pitbull Cruz versus Lamont Roach. And guess what? We're going to talk to Lamont Roach on this episode. I caught up with Lamont and to get his thoughts on the fight with Pitbull, to get his thoughts on Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua, which we're going to get to in a second, to get his thoughts on 140, potentially fighting at 135. That's coming up in just a little bit with Lamont Roach. Don't forget to order that fight with us at ppv.com and all the good stuff that comes along with that. That's December 6th. Lamont Roach is an awesome interview. Great guy.
Awesome guy. Forget the interview. He's just a good dude. I told you to tell him what's up. You probably did.
He said what's up. He goes, where is he? I said, he's on a movie set. He goes, oh yeah, he's got those movie star looks.
See, that's what I get. But yeah, no, he's a good dude. We see him. He trains down in Florida now. He's over at the Pro Box TV training facility, so we get to see him down there training. He's whipping on all the guys over there. But good people, good dude. Good. His dad's awesome. His brother Jordan's great. He's another one to look out for. I think is he a flyweight? I think he's a flyweight coming up, or bantamweight. But yeah, great family, good boxing family, great boxing heritage.
Yeah, and I can't wait for that mega card. Big card December 6th, and he's the headliner. So we're going to get to him in a second. Some big news broke. Shocking news. According to Ring Magazine, Anthony Joshua is going to step in for Gervonta Davis and fight Jake Paul. We don't know yet if it's an exhibition. We don't know yet the rules set. We don't know the date. These are preliminary talks that are ongoing. Yes, I work for MVP.
Dave Allen criticizes the idea that Anthony Joshua should avoid fighting Jake Paul just because the matchup is viewed as unconventional or purely for entertainment. He notes that Joshua is still in peak physical condition, and unlike retired fighters who may lose speed or power, Joshua still has everything he needs to dominate in the ring. Allen says fans often underestimate the seriousness of these kinds of fights, treating them as spectacles, when in reality Joshua's athleticism, strength, and skill make him a dangerous opponent. He stresses that this fight isn't just about showmanship. Joshua's preparation and experience allow him to impose his will on anyone he faces. Allen also points out the gap between perception and reality, warning that casual viewers may not fully understand the risks Jake Paul is taking. Overall, he argues that the matchup deserves respect, focus, and recognition of Joshua's elite-level abilities, no matter the hype surrounding it.
Probably shouldn't be licensed, but Florida are very kind of easy commission. Yeah, it'd be called an exhibition.
It will be an exhibition?
It probably would be called an exhibition.
What's the point?
For me, as long as that fight you mentioned just now, Spencer, as long as that roadmap is there and it's signed, that he fights an interim guy as a warm-up afterwards and fights Tyson Fury next year, and Fury's on board, I'm great with it. Otherwise, I do think his legacy's damaged if his last fight is with Jake Paul.
An exhibition is just a waste of time. They're for retired fighters. For retired fighters, it's a load of rubbish.
Yeah, listen, the guy's still in his athletic prime. I personally don't see the reason why they can't just do the Tyson Fury fight. Why do we need interims?
Well, we all want that.
Yeah, but why do we need interims? Why do we need warm-ups? We're talking about two experienced guys who've been the best, as you just said, of the last 10, 20 years. Let's get the fight on.
It's as ridiculous as Gervonta Davis going in with him, basically, isn't it, with Jake Paul,
Quite
frankly?
no different mindsets. And what, again, listening to Eddie today and what he was saying, the damage that Anthony Joshua suffered mentally, not physically, because physically he's still all there, but mentally against Daniel Dubois, he needs to go through that process again. And they said, and that's just the whole getting your hands wrapped up, doing it, whether it's Jake Paul, whether it's a top 100 fighter, you go, that's the way Anthony Joshua ticks. He needs that before going into the... All roads lead to Fury, right? We all know that.
Analysts point out that Jake Paul is finally stepping into a matchup with someone who is much closer to his level in terms of active competition, unlike the older or retired fighters he has faced before. While this makes the fight more intriguing and gives fans the challenge they've been waiting for, it also raises the physical risks for Paul. Commentators emphasize that health and safety are genuine concerns, as Joshua's skill, power, and experience are far beyond anything Paul has dealt with. The fight may be competitive on paper, but it carries serious potential consequences in terms of physical danger.
Maybe even bigger than the Mike Tyson fight. It's hard to say really. Tyson was a big name, but it's going to do numbers regardless because Joshua is a big name and then people are going to be tuning in to see Jake Paul get knocked out. Right now, Eddie Hearn talks about Jake Paul taking this Joshua fight.
I mean, my estimations of Jake Paul would go through the roof if he signs to fight Anthony Joshua, because I just can't believe in my mind that he would do something like that. I mean, Gervonta was a smart one because of his size. Like, you know, I think actually he would have had a lot of success against Jake Paul, but the size is a problem. But this would just be, you know, like if Jake Paul was to take the fight with AJ, you'd really have to maybe carry his balls in a wheelbarrow on the ring walk, you know, because that would be, because AJ would mess around in there, you know, so it would be huge, but nothing to tell you it's close, just a few conversations so far.
Damn right, if Jake Paul takes this fight, he's got some major balls on him. And I know people hate influencer boxing, but come on, he's not fighting an old, retired, past the prime MMA fighter. No, he's fighting a legit boxer who's massive, 6'5", 6'6", jacked, 240, 250 pounds, shredded, power puncher. Do we need to remind ourselves of what Joshua did to Francis Ngannou? Francis Ngannou was coming off a pretty good performance over Tyson Fury. He didn't get the win in that fight, but you could argue that he did actually win that fight. And Ngannou, throughout his entire MMA career, in 4-ounce gloves, very rarely got hit. He could take a punch. He's got a big, fat African head. Big, thick neck, traps back. He just can't really be hit. And look what Joshua did to Ngannou. Out cold. So what do you think Joshua is going to do to Jake Paul? Jake Paul better start loading up on that trenbolone. He needs to start eating Anavar like Skittles.
Analysts highlight that Anthony Joshua's credentials as an Olympic gold medalist and former heavyweight champion make him a serious threat under any circumstances. They note that his blend of technical skill, power, and experience puts him on an entirely different level from anyone Jake Paul has fought before. Joshua's ability to read opponents, adjust his strategy in real time, and deliver precise, punishing shots means that even small mistakes from Paul could be quickly and severely exploited.
Unified champion at the heavyweight division. He is 6'6", 250 pounds. And also, I do think...
Oh, my God.
I do. No, Jake Paul 6'1", about 220. I want to say this, though. I think Anthony Joshua, he's made stupid money in his career. Dumb money in his career. I don't think he's going to be in a position to be accepting BS terms with Jake Paul if this is really what's going to end up happening. I think we're actually going to get to see Jake Paul against a former heavyweight champion of the world. Do I think that's a smart idea? Absolutely not. For Jake Paul, do I think it would sell? Absolutely. Do I think it'd be very interesting and people would tune in to see if he gets his head knocked off? Absolutely. I genuinely, I hate to say it.
Experts make it clear that this fight is anything but casual. It requires full focus, thorough preparation, and genuine respect for Joshua's abilities. Analysts point to Joshua's physical advantages, his reach, strength, and conditioning, which allow him to control the pace and distance of a fight with ease. While Paul is confident, he's stepping into the ring with a former world champion, and underestimating someone of Joshua's caliber could carry serious consequences. Commentators also note that Joshua's past battles against top-tier heavyweights have sharpened his timing, defense, and ring IQ, enabling him to handle even opponents with unconventional styles. Overall, The matchup is seen as a serious test of Paul's skills, with Joshua's elite status ensuring a highly competitive and strategically demanding fight.
We see with Alexander Usyk, who's now the undisputed, one of the greatest heavyweights of all time now after beating all these guys. He was a smaller guy. Went up, he's like 6'2", 6'3", about 200 pounds. At first, now he's probably sitting at about 220, 230. Similar size to Jake Paul. Went up and beat all these guys. Granted, Usyk, greatest amateur boxer at that weight class ever. I think it's going to be interesting, but I do think Jake Paul is in a good position.
The only fear is this.
I hate to give him credit.
If Jake Paul gets his block knocked off completely.
Yeah, very possible.
The Jake Paul experiment is over. It's a wrap. Because if you step into the ring, everybody thus far is wondering and has wondered, like, what would happen versus a legitimate boxer?
Yeah.
And in their relative shape. Not a 50-year-old Floyd.
Yeah.
Not a 60-year-old Mike. We've all asked ourselves, well, what happens if you fight a real fighter? The problem is, once you fight a real fighter and you get beat down, the hypothesis is gone. So now we don't need to wait to see the experiment. Y'all know what we do every year. We say the best college team could beat the worst NFL team.
Yeah,
and it's a fun debate.
Yeah.
Because if you don't really know ball, if you don't really know ball though, you'll be like, man, but if 10 players on Georgia would start for the Cleveland Browns right now.